It is so good to be back here with my friends at Adapt as we honor the amazing Willie Geist. I grew up with Willie and the Geist family in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and have known them my whole life. I knew Willie's sister Libby and mom and dad. Willie's dad, Bill, was a longtime CBS correspondent, and I remember the first time I met Willie. It was on the basketball court. My dad was Willie's basketball coach in high school. I was 7 years old and visiting one of my dad's practices. 5 years earlier, I was 2 years old, and my mom and my brother Jake and I were in a car accident in town. My brother and I were seriously injured, and the community of Ridgewood, including the Geist family, showed up for us and were a huge part of our recovery. I think it was really scary for my parents to not know what the future would look like for my brother and me. When my dad brought us to his basketball practice, Willie, who was 15 years old at the time, and captain, made an immediate impression on me. Willie was larger than life, kind, and had the biggest heart. He and the other guys treated us like part of the team. Willie was a born leader. When I watch Willie on TV as co-anchor of Morning Joe and anchor of Sunday Today with Willie Geist, I still see that 15-year-old kid in basketball practice, humble, poised, and fully invested in each and every interview, and I burst with pride knowing he is one of our own. When I made history as the first person in a wheelchair to appear on Broadway in Deaf West's Spring Awakening, Willie interviewed me at the theater for the Today Show. My dad showed up for the interview, and Willie and my dad cried because they were both so proud of me. Willie was there after I got hurt and has been a part of my journey, to where I am now today. There aren't many people who have known me that long, and when Willie is around, I feel safe. He's like an older brother. When I asked my dad yesterday what he thought of Willie when he was in high school, he said he was graceful and a tremendous athlete. And most importantly, he led with his heart. He continued on, Willie could be a big shot, but he is a true gentleman and always shows up for anyone in town who is in need. Tonight, Adapt honors Willie for being a leader in the world of journalism. He began his career as an editor and producer for CNN Sports Illustrated, and also a field producer and reporter for CNN Sports, where he covered the Super Bowl, the NCAA Final Four, and the Masters. He began substituting as a co-host on MSNBC's 6 to 9 a.m. morning slot in 2007. He was named permanent co-host of Morning Joe that same year. 2 years later, Willie began hosting his own 30-minute program, Way Too Early with Willie Geist. In 2012, he became an official co-host of Today. And then in 2016, Willie was made solo host of the new Sunday Today. Additionally, Willie has contributed to NBC Sports and the NBC News coverage of every Olympic Games since 2010. Willie has distinguished himself as one of the world's most respected journalists. He solo anchored NBC's coverage of the Orlando Pulse nightclub shooting on the morning of June 12, 2016, and was on air for 7 hours for the NBC News special report that aired across the United States. Willie and Sunday Today has earned the prestigious Edward R. Murrow Award for similar coverage on August 4th, 2019, the morning after the mass shootings in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. In addition to his political interviews on Morning Joe during the week, he has earned a reputation on Sunday Today as one of the best in-depth profile interviewers in journalism today, and has interviewed many of the biggest newsmakers and celebrities in the world. Willie doesn't just play himself on screen. He voiced the character Sum opposite Al Roker's character Dim in Kung Fu Panda 3. Willie sits on the board of the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. And 2 years ago, Willie ran the 50th annual New York City Marathon to raise money for the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And he raised more than $500,000 for Parkinson's disease research, entirely in small donations. Whether it's covering the news that impacts our lives or helping others to live their lives, Willie always shows up with his heart open and with sincerity and kindness. We are so lucky that we get to turn on the TV and watch Willie Geist. And I am so lucky to know him and call him a lifelong friend. He is so deserving of the Adapt Leadership Award. Please help me welcome Willie Geist. I know.
That was a lot.
Congratulations.
We're going to take a picture.
Okay. Here we go.
Thank you. Boy, that was a lot. None of it true, but thank you anyway. Oh, man. Can I say something before I start? Thank you so much, Allie. Allie just told me, as we had that beautiful tribute to Judy Heumann, that Allie is going to play her in a movie for Apple TV coming up very soon. I do have to point out the obvious because all of you are thinking of it right now. Tony-winning icon Ali Stroker, who has inspired millions of people around the world, is giving him an award for his work with people with disabilities. Maybe LeBron James coming out to pay tribute to my high school basketball career next. Meryl Streep for my work as Friedrich in Ridgewood Summerstock and Sound of Music. I get it. In fairness, I did give Ali the award last year. Thank you all for being here tonight. Allie has felt like a little sister to me, as she said, since I was a kid running around at basketball practice with her dad. We often shuddered to think how harsh those practices would have been without you there, so thank you for that. It's been an absolute joy, of course, to watch Allie burst through life with courage and perseverance and joy and that crazy talent to rise to the heights of her industry. We are all so proud of you. One more time for Allie, please. I'm very grateful to Adapt as well for this honor. Frankly, though, I wish I were not in a position to receive it. I wish my dad had not been diagnosed with Parkinson's more than 30 years ago at the age of 47, the age I am now, a number that has loomed large for me over the years, but he was. As everyone in this room knows, in one way or another, the entire family receives the news from a doctor that their lives, too, will be changed forever. My father continued to live his life and work for some 25 years after his diagnosis, retiring just a few years ago. He is the inspiration for all the work I've done with the Michael J. Fox Foundation to find a cure for this cruel disease. The team effort includes doctors and researchers, visionary leaders, fundraisers, and of course, wonderful caregivers like my mom who take on so much of the day-to-day responsibility. For the caregivers, please. When I ran that marathon a year and a half ago to raise money for the Fox Foundation, I had the millions of Parkinson's patients around the world running with me, pushing me along, but two in particular. My dad, of course, whose name I had written on my arm so I could look down every time I thought things were getting too tough. And then as I was running up Fifth Avenue in those final excruciating miles, I saw a familiar man standing over a cane, stepped off the sidewalk into the street to wave to me. It was Michael J. Fox. I broke into a sprint to give him a big, gross, sweaty, teary hug that pushed me through to the finish line. As Ali said, in the end, I raised more than $500,000 for Parkinson's research, almost all of it in small donations. $20 from a woman whose father had the disease, $10 from a man whose wife was suffering with it, and on like that. It was a beautiful reminder that the work we do to help people who need it, no matter how large or how small, always is worth it. Every bit matters. So thank you, ADAPT, for the heroic work you do. Thank you for this honor, which I will share with my friends at the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And thank you, Ali. Thank you very much.